Hi everyone, I'm back again with another awesome video. My name is Kutso if this is your first time here, and this video is about whether Udemy courses are better than your traditional, tertiary degrees and so on. So I got a bit curious because I've been doing just a little bit of these Udemy courses recently, and there's a lot of cool titles there and a lot of interesting stuff. I saw one specifically on like the blockchain, but I wasn't really looking for those kind of specific like courses. What I wanted to do instead was I wanted to do some courses around the kind of work that I'm doing now, so I can just be better at my job and provide more value into the work that I'm doing, just to improve. By now you should know I'm big on self-improvement. So yeah, let me not talk too much about myself. So what are the pros and cons of a Udemy course, and as well as a traditional tertiary degree, traditional education? So first of all, it's plain and simple accreditation. So if you're doing this for like to get a job in a particular field, then I think personally you're better off going to learn at an accredited university or college, because what this means is there's people who have done it before, who are constantly reviewing a particular curriculum to structure these particular modules and information into a bundle that can be provide more value in what you're doing. Because what I've noticed so far, just in the few courses that I've been looking at, of which, by the way, I went on to watch some videos on YouTube to see what goes into the creating of the Udemy courses, and it's just like your day-to-day people. It could be like me right now, just making a course on shooting a YouTube video and then coming up with a few quizzes and layering it properly, and then putting a price tag on there, and then if it's approved by Udemy in 48 hours it goes live, and then I promote it and then I get some money. So the first thing is, who am I? That's the first thing you want to ask yourself, like, who am I to for example, like, what is there to say that I am the right person to learn from in that particular course that I've just made? And that's a big question. So just because there's someone who's teaching, let's say for example, about scaling your business, right, and they've just been working in one industry their whole lives, and they have just the knowledge from there, be it 1 year or 15 years or 30 years. And the first thing is that it's likely, if that person hasn't been actively looking for new knowledge, what they're going to be sharing is going to be very limited. Like, think about it. So I'll give you an example. I've got a degree now in IT, and I've been going up and down to the institution where I got it, just to sort out some stuff on the graduation date and stuff like that, and actually getting the confirmation, like the confirmation letter to say that I did actually complete that particular degree. And while I was there waiting in line to speak to the relevant people, I was overhearing conversations. Some people were there maybe after like a year or so, trying to continue and register and finish their courses that they had started, and maybe didn't finish for different reasons. One of the most common reasons is actually the fees, and because the traditional education is expensive, which is a con. And but then they would find that when they get there, and then they are told that no, actually that qualification no longer exists. It's been changed now. It's no longer a human resource management. It's now maybe a human business management, stuff like that. And what they do in there, it's basically they change around the modules for different credits to achieve a particular number of credits, and then the modules themselves, they are changed continuously. There's these things called like a module guide, which is a syllabus basically of a particular module, and in there's many different things that create this particular syllabus. It's the first of all, usually in some modules they've got a prescribed textbook, and then that textbook itself, depending on who it's written by, there's always usually there are versions. So you might get the version 1, and then a year or two later they come up with the 2.0, and those things do make a difference. Newer versions are now considering, for example, newer technology that has come into play, newer information that has come to light, because when someone has got a thesis so they can get their masters, they go on do research, and sometimes they come up with new solutions to existing problems. And there with that new knowledge, and once it's passed and their articles go out, there is newer knowledge that can be added now, because and the good thing is it can be referenced. Usually it has to be referenced, not usually, because we need to know how did you come to the conclusion that let's say doing things according to doing things like this is the best way, as opposed to doing things in like a B form. So you need to be able to tell us, no, based on some research, the first research done by person so and so in this year, they got information, let's say, from a survey of 1,000 people in that year in this area with this demographics, and this is what they were able to conclude. And then we also ourselves, if we want to confirm, we can go through those references, read the relevant books that maybe have been referenced, and go on to check who was this person, who was the author to begin with, what sort of qualifications do they hold, how much did they study, and that's the first powerful thing about your traditional education. But also, if you've listened till now, then you're probably thinking, we already know which way this guy is swinging. Not necessarily. So earlier today I was thinking, actually, like, I'm a little bit trying, like, I'm one of those people. I felt for a little bit that I was trying to actually discredit the online courses, just because I don't want to be one of the people who worked so hard to get a 3-year degree, and then someone who can do like Udemy courses really cheap in a few nights will go on to be able to get a job that maybe, for example, I can't get. So I was sort of on the side of trying to bash, and it's so hard to keep an open mind. The reality, I think right now, what I think right now, I don't think saying reality was a good way to put it, is that, like, it is a revolution for education. First of all, imagine if you can learn from wherever, because the truth is there are some courses that I've seen that are even free. Like, obviously, when you're just looking at, if they might have like a course where if you want the free version of that course, you just get the videos, you don't get the quizzes and the certificate at the end, which those certificates actually, they don't really mean much. Like I said about the accreditations, for now, I feel like for now they don't mean much, especially to employers. But in the future, I really do think employers will start to look at those things, because this is like very specialized, in depth. Like for some courses, like knowledge, it's like you get specific stuff, learning, for example, SQL queries, and then that person is just focusing on that. So he's not giving you also, like a traditional education would give you, like, also come and do project management while you're at it, come and do all these other things that maybe you might never even be able to get into or use. So with the online courses, you actually focus in on exactly what you want to do, and then you get those skills at an affordable price and at the convenience of your own time and your own space. So now so in that way, I think in the future it would be amazing if they found a way, for example, to give accreditation to some of these courses. Let's say if there was a way for people to start, they could come up with a team, right, that could accredit these courses accordingly, and make sure there's certain points that need to be in there for certain courses. Then once you do pay, and when you pay, then you're paying for those people to come and say, yes, this course was indeed like this, and we are a board of whatever in terms of this education, and we do certify that this is the right and relevant information for this particular line of work, and yes, you can go ahead. This person is the suitable person for the job. Because right now it's like, what does it mean if I just hit play on any of those courses and I'm a paid person, and I play through the whole course, and then it's technically what complete, and then what the quizzes. So it's like, but then when you go to a traditional setting, education, that's where you got a timetable first of all to attend classes, and some of them are really strict. So depending on how many classes you did attend, there's like a minimum amount of courses you should attend. There's in-class activities that you must do a minimum of. Then you got your assignments that you submit. Then you got your tests. Then you got your exams. And they are in a place where, let's say that if it's in a particular classroom and it's not even online, you can't cheat. It's very, it's now things that people are sure that this is coming from your head. You're not just sitting at home googling on the side, opened another tab where you're just finding answers and throwing it in there. So it's more honest in that we have really checked. Even when you get your academic record, it shows. Like I got my academic record as well some time back, and you can see that this guy failed here and there, and then he passed, and then you can see that no, there was activity and there's a relationship. Even throughout the modules, you can see this was the performance. It makes sense. You get to see that the information here, it makes sense that this person was a real person. They were really going through the stuff. Where they didn't put in effort, they were failing. When then they did it again and they were paying, and there was effort. So it's dedication. We can tell just from that this person went on to complete this 3-year degree. If they've got the drive and the persistence and the discipline to go ahead and complete such a degree, then they can really put in the work in the workplace. So even though there's people who come out of their schooling and they've just graduated, and then they're not very qualified to do the jobs that they're doing, still they've got a better chance of then going on to do better than someone who just got the 1 Udemy courses or the 5 Udemy courses that went focused. Because right now I've got there are modules that I did, maybe now I feel like they were useless, I don't remember much, but one day I might be triggered by something at the workplace, for example, that reminds me of that particular thing that I learned at some point, to say, this is actually analytical techniques. This is, I'm calculating, the median of our sales, and things like that. So some things you don't consider on that point. You're just thinking, but I'm just a software developer. But then you find that if you were doing a full course, you might have went on to do programming logic and design, whereby it's like now you can actually communicate better with the clients. You're not just that coding. You understand how to communicate. Your applied communications, you've got the skills now, and which you got as like a bonus from everything else. So you're still a developer at the end of the day, but all these other skills that you don't even notice you have, you did acquire from that very structured course, traditional education. So I think that being said, it's like let me just check out some few more points that I would like to point out. Focused learning, agreed upon. Yeah, I think I've touched on all of them. Then I don't think I'm happy with that. But here's my conclusion. So from what I've seen and those who have been doing Udemy courses and seem to love the most, I think it's specifically or mostly just for entrepreneurs. I don't think it's the best thing to just focus on if you are someone who wants to build a career, like if you're starting out. I think it's more for the entrepreneurs who have the time and the money. In a sense, it's not expensive, it's very cheap, but I'm saying the money in that they can afford, like their income is not going to be based on somebody else's decision. It's going to be based on them, on what they can change in their businesses, for example, to make that leap in income. Whereas you as an employee, there's going to be hurdles, there's going to be deciders, people who actually decide that no, you this was good enough for us, or you don't have the particular degree, you don't have the relevant experience, or things like that. So I think it's very good for entrepreneurs or business-minded people who want to just add on skills. I don't think it's something you want to use particularly to start off a career. I think what you do, I definitely now want to take on, and not even for like long, but for now I'm going to be taking on more of these online courses, the free ones, right, for now, and see how it goes. I already found one nice one that I'm doing now, and I think in the future, yes, once they find a way to accredit them and structure them better, so it's not just everyone, anybody who's just like maybe like a YouTuber who's making a course just to make money. It's going to be more structured and all that. Then once it gets to that point where it can be accredited and it's more structured, I think it will be better than the traditional universities, because it is more affordable than those by far. So yes, for me, definitely, if you just if you can start off with your traditional university and tertiary institutions that are accredited, and then once you've got your degree or whatever, then you can add on those certificates from your Udemy stuff and apply them at work. So now I've already got a job as something, and now I can keep on adding with those online courses, those Udemy courses that are free, to improve my work. I can now improve onto the value that I can add just by testing out those things. I'm already in the job anyway, and then to motivate, maybe let's say a different position, I still have my traditional university, traditional education degree. So you see, I'm still strong in that sense, because the employers still consider that a lot. So even if you look on LinkedIn, I've been looking at a lot of people I studied with, they are doing these online courses, but I know we all went to tertiary, they've got their degrees first, and then like the big thing, and then maybe some of them even went even higher, they got their masters and all, and then they've got these courses that they keep adding and posting on LinkedIn. Oh, now I've got this what was certified, whatever, and they're just adding on to their CVs, and yeah, but then it's just like, it's like icing, and it's also just good skills to have, but we don't really know if we can apply them in the way that they need to be applied, which is another question. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. You can just go ahead, if you'd give me a like there and subscribe, and then you can also hold some comments down below on what you think, and yeah, thank you.